everyone! Today, we're going to talk about the importance of weed control in the greenhouse as part of the sanitation process to avoid weeds that can be reservoirs of diseases and insects that vector them. Weeds are plants growing in undesirable places. Weeds may include the same plants that we produce in containers, growing in the floor or in the wrong container, or plants with no commercial value that enter in the greenhouse from external sources. Maintaining conditions free of weeds is an essential part of producing high-quality greenhouse crops. The risk of insect pests and diseases can be reduced when weeds are properly and regularly controlled, along with other appropriate integrated crop management practices. Weeds can serve as a primary reservoir of aphids, whiteflies, thrips, mites, and slugs. They can be alternative hosts to plant pathogens, including toxoplasmosis, such as impatient necrotic spot virus and tomato spotted wilt virus, while showing few, if any, visible symptoms. Thrips can then move the virus to susceptible greenhouse crops. Weeds may compete with crops for light, water, and nutrients, and reduce the aesthetic value of the crop. Weed seeds can come into the greenhouse through vents and other openings. Weed plants or seeds can be introduced into the greenhouse on infected plant material, tools, and equipment, and be moved within the greenhouse in soil by the wind, irrigation, water, animals, and people. Weeds must be controlled not only inside the greenhouse but outside as well. Always maintain a 10 to 20 foot weed-free barrier outside the greenhouse. Geotextile fabric can be used outside the greenhouse to prevent weed growth. Mow beyond this area before weed set seed to help limit the entry of weed seeds into the greenhouse. Some sanitation practices you can do to keep weed seeds and rhizomes out of the greenhouse are: use sterile growing media, clean started plant materials, and control weeds outside the greenhouse. Clean up spilled growing media on the floor to prevent creating an ideal environment for the germination of weed seeds. Screen vents and other openings to help limit the entry of wind-blown seeds and insects. When scouting, identify weeds as broadleaf weeds or grass. Identify if they are annual, biennial, or perennials, and their location in the greenhouse. In the description of this video, you can find some reference listed for help in identification. Remove weeds from greenhouse pots, benches, and floors before they flower and produce seeds. For example, a single plant of bitter cress can produce 5,000 seeds that germinate in as little as 5 days and propel the seeds over 9 feet from the plant. Using a physical barrier such as weed block fabric will help limit weed establishment on greenhouse floors. It's recommended to not cover the weed fabric with gravel because this will make removing any spilled potting media difficult, so leave the weed fabric bare for ease of cleanup. Regularly hand pull any escaped weeds before they go to seed. Very few herbicides are labeled for use in the greenhouse due to potential for severe injury or death of desirable plants. Herbicide vapors are easily trapped in enclosed greenhouse, injuring tender greenhouse plants. Herbicide injury may occur in several ways, including spray drift may occur if fans are operating at the time of application. Herbicides can volatilize, changing from a liquid to a gas. Always be sure the herbicide selected is labeled for use in the greenhouse. Carefully follow all label instructions and precautions. Dedicate a sprayer that is clearly marked for herbicide use only. Herbicides are generally classified into pre-emergence and post-emergence herbicides. Main difference between them are pre-emergence herbicides are applied before weeds emerge. They provide residual control of weed seedlings and can persist for many months. Only one pre-emergent herbicide is labeled for use on greenhouse floors in an empty greenhouse. On the other hand, post-emergent herbicides are applied after weeds have emerged. In the greenhouse, several post-emergent herbicides can be used on the greenhouse benches and on floors. There are two different types of post-emergence herbicides, contact and systemic. Contact herbicides kill only the portion of the plant that the herbicide contacts, so good spray coverage is generally needed. Systemic herbicides are absorbed and moved through the plant. Target weeds must be actively growing for the herbicides to be effective. Here are some precautions to take before applying herbicides outside the greenhouse. Herbicide labels should indicate if use near greenhouses is allowed. Close greenhouse vents and openings while applying herbicides to prevent drift inside to sensitive crops. Soil residuals and post-emergence herbicides may be carefully used surrounding the greenhouse. Select effective herbicides with low volatility. Do not use any auxin-type herbicide such as those labeled for broadleaf weed control in turf near greenhouses. The volatility of the product and the extreme sensitivity of greenhouse crops can result in severe injury. Here is a table with herbicide label for using ornamental greenhouses, information that you can find in the description of this video. Remember, weed control is a sanitation practice that prevents the introduction and spread of pests and disease problems through the greenhouse. To keep learning about more sanitation practices, watch our videos, Sanitation of hard surfaces between crops in greenhouse producing ornamental plants, and sanitation practices during growing season.